they turn off.
Oh,
They don't work.
Okay, we're ready to go.
The weirdest thing.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, I guess I'm weird.
Okay, well, I think the bewitching hour has arrived, so we will call the meeting to order and ask the clerk, if you would, to take the roll.
Good morning, thank you. Ms. Dunn?
Here,
Here. Mr. Stovall?
Here?
Dr. Na?
Here.
Mr. Neptune? Through the chair, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. And I can't see the clerk. Is that Katrina or? Okay.
Good morning, yes, it's Katrina.
Good morning.
Katrina there.
Hopefully everybody's had a chance to take a look at the consent calendar. Do we have a motion on the consent calendar? That's items 9 through 11.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Dr. Na.
Seconded.
Okay, second by Ms. Dunn. Katrina, if you'd take the roll, please.
Yes, okay, Ms. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Stovall?
Yes.
Dr. Na?
Yes.
Through the chair, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. So we'll turn then to the public hearing part of our agenda here. Would ask all those who will be testifying to just raise your right hand and do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury in the laws of the state of California that the testimony you shall give before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Record should reflect that all responded affirmatively. So let's turn then to S2308S. That's Chevron Pipeline and Power, the Sycamore cogeneration facility. And if the petitioner could identify yourself for the record, please.
Good morning. My name's Tim Brawley with Chevron Pipeline and Power.
Okay. And you spell your last name for the...
B as in boy, R-A-L-Y.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. And let's see, who's Shannon? Is that yours or?
No, I'm going to be handling this.
Okay. So then let's begin with the staff's report, and then we will go to Chevron. So go ahead.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Clash, and I'm an air quality specialist here with the district. Before you this morning is Sycamore Cogeneration Company. They operate 475 megawatt General Electric Model 7EA natural gas-fired combustion turbines, which generate electric power for commercial sale and steam for enhanced oil recovery. The variance is going to discuss Unit 2. This is one of the 4 turbines. And Sycamore is running this turbine at base load to provide consistent power, and the other 3 operate as peaker turbines and are committed to being operational. During a recent site assessment in 2022, it was determined that the hardware control systems that support these units, which have been in place since the mid-1990s, have reached the end of their life. At this time, Sycamore only has plans to upgrade the hardware control system for Unit 2. During the commissioning of this new hardware control system, functions testing is going to be required to ensure safe and reliable operation and is expected to take approximately 3 weeks. Sycamore has requested a short variance from the applicable requirements of district rules, in addition to the applicable conditions of the subject permits. The requested short variance would be for a non-consecutive 20-day period that's going to occur sometime between March 20th, 2023 and May 1st, 2023 inclusive. If variance is granted, it will allow Sycamore to operate Unit 2 with excess NOx and CO emissions while the hardware control system function testing is conducted. In lieu of obtaining a variance, Sycamore could shut down. However, Sycamore has contractual obligations to provide steam to the oil fields and electricity to the power grid and would suffer monetarily if they had to shut down. Also, it should be noted that the shutdown is impractical, as the hardware control system function testing requires that Unit 2 be operating. Sycamore has estimated that excess emissions of NOx and CO could be as high as 300 pounds for each pollutant during the variance period. The district believes the required findings as set forth in the California Health and Safety Code can be made and recommends that Sycamore be granted a short variance with the conditions on pages 3 and 4. And this concludes the district's presentation.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris?
I did.
Oh, Dr. Knopf?
I was just curious, because normally in the comments on required findings, there's actually a dollar amount attached to what the monetary damage would be, and I was just curious why it didn't have it. It was.
Yeah,
maybe
I'll
too
defer to the
difficult to
petitioner. I'm not sure what their contractual agreements would be as far as a penalization for not fulfilling their agreement. I'll defer to the petitioner on that.
So we're looking at about roughly $50 million per year is what our commitment is to provide power to the grids. That doesn't account for the steam, so I'd say between 60 and 70 million total for both steam and power per year. So if we were to shut down indefinitely, you multiply that out by the remaining commitment, we expect at least another 10 years of operations. So
Right, right. Sounds good. And even for the short period of the variance, it would be significant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions for Chris?
No.
Tim, anything else you'd like to add?
no, I appreciate Chris helping this. He seems to have covered everything. If there, I'd open up for questions, I would please.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Broughton?
No.
No questions, okay. Do we have any public comment?
No comment in Bakersfield?
No comment here. Anything up there in Fresno?
There's no indication of public comments online or in person.
Okay, thank you, Katrina. With that, then, we will close the hearing and see if we have a motion.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I move to approve Sycamore Cogeneration Company's petition for a short variance set forth in docket number S-23-08S with the required 6 findings of the Health and Safety Code adopted by reference as set forth in the staff report, pages 2 and 3. This variance shall be effective for the non-consecutive 20-day period to occur sometime between March 20th, 2023 and May 1st, 2023, inclusive, or until Sycamore has completed the hardware control system function testing, whichever occurs first, and shall, of course, be subject to the conditions on pages 3 to 4 of the staff report.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dunn. Do we have a second?
I can second.
Okay, second by Dr. Knopf. Any further discussion? If not, Katrina, would you take the roll, please?
Sure. Ms. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Stovall?
Yes.
Dr. Na?
Yes?
Through the chair, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. So the hearing starts granted then. And thank you, Mr. Brawley.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Good job. Let's then turn to S-2309I, an interim variance for CXA La Paloma LLC. And if you folks would come forward and identify yourselves for the record, appreciate that. Oh, right. I get the red lights.
I'm Paul Sabal, Compliance Manager at CXA La Paloma.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Gary Benson, Plant Manager for CXA La Paloma.
Okay, Carrie. Okay, and let's see, Chris or Shannon? Shannon?
Yeah, that'll be me. Good morning, my name's Shannon Moore. Yes. Good morning, my name's Shannon Moore. I'm an air quality specialist here at the district, and before you this morning is CXA La Paloma LLC. They operate a 262 megawatt natural gas-fired combined cycle combustion turbine electric generation facility in McKittrick, California. The 4 combustion turbines utilize dry low NOx combustors and a selective catalytic reduction system to control emissions, and a continuous emissions monitoring system measures and records the NOx, CO, and O2 concentrations of the exhaust gas in order to demonstrate compliance with their emissions limits. La Paloma is under contract to provide electrical power to the California Independent System Operator, or CAISO. Combustion turbine Unit 1 is currently undergoing a major overhaul. Before it can return to service, it must complete a tuning and recommissioning process. La Paloma's permit conditions require them to conduct a performance test for NOx and CO within 30 days after they have completed the recommissioning process. In order to complete the performance test, the units must operate at full load for a period of 4 to 6 hours. La Paloma does not expect CAISO to dispatch the unit for that many continuous hours until sometime this summer, well outside the 30-day period required by their permit to complete the performance testing. Therefore, La Paloma is requesting a variance to postpone the performance test until they are dispatched by CAISO for a sufficient time to complete the testing. If they are required to conduct the performance testing without being dispatched, they will be in violation of their contract with CAISO and will be subject to penalties of approximately $100,000. It is possible the facility could be dispatched to operate below full load or for a shorter period of time to prior to completing the testing. If that happens, La Paloma will ensure that the combustion turbines operate in compliance with all their permit conditions and emissions limits, so there will be no excess emissions. Because La Paloma is seeking relief for more than 90 days, they have requested an interim variance to be followed by a regular variance from requirements of the applicable district rules in addition to the applicable conditions of the subject permits. The interim variance period will be from March 8th, 2023 to June 6th, 2023 inclusive, or until a petition for the regular variance can be heard. The district has already noticed or posted the 30-day notice for the regular variance, which will be heard on April 12th. If granted, the variance will allow La Paloma to postpone performance testing of combustion turbine Unit 1. To grant an interim variance, your board must make a finding of good cause. The district believes that good cause, as set forth in the California Health and Safety Code, can be made and recommends that CXA La Paloma LLC be granted an interim variance with the conditions on pages 3 and 4. And that concludes the district's presentation.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. Any questions for Shannon?
Oh, pretty clear.
Okay, hearing none, would the petitioner like to add anything further?
It's a particularly hard year for plants like ours due to the snowpack and the rainfall, and it's making it difficult to this time of year to do testing without a very high financial loss.
Thank you. Any questions for the petitioner?
I
Okay.
thought the snow would do it.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Soon as
Yeah.
I read it.
True.
Yeah.
And the cold weather,
And
too.
the cold weather.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Dr. Knapp? Yeah.
Just, for, like, understanding better, where would the fine be coming from?
So we would have to supplement a plant that, let's just say a hydro for not running. We would have to pay their losses for us being on and doing that power. We'd have to be above 220 megawatts to do this test.
It's not really a fine coming from a regulatory
No,
agency.
it would be a fee we would have to pay others for losing.
Mm.
And it could go further than that up the chain.
Right. Either that or I assume somebody would have to have a blackout somewhere in California, right? Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay, any further questions for the
No.
petitioner? Okay, thank you. Do we have any, comments from the public?
No comments in Bakersfield?
Any comments in Fresno?
No public comments in Fresno or online.
Okay, thank you, Katrina. With that then, there being no public comments, we'll close the hearing and see if we have a motion.
My boss, certainly. Go ahead.
Okay, I move to approve CXA La Paloma LLC's petition for an interim variance set forth in docket number S-23-09I upon the basis that good cause exists as set forth in the staff report and that there is likelihood that the 6 findings required by the Health and Safety Code will be met at a later hearing. The variance shall be effective for the period Effective from March 8, 2023 to June 6, 2023, or until the petition for the regular variance can be heard, whichever occurs first, and shall be subject to the conditions on pages 3 to 4 of the staff report.
Thank you. Motion by Dr. Knopf. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Second by Ms. Dunn. Katrina, would you take the roll, please?
Yes, Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall,
Yes.
Dr. Knopf,
Yes.
through the chair, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, variance is granted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's see, hearing board member comments. I just say great job by the staff as always. Appreciate
Interesting. It's fun to be in person.
everybody. Yeah, yeah, right. Unless you have to wear one of these things, but that's okay. Anyone else?
April, right? That's it.
Right. I think that is it. And I should say that mentions that there weren't any emergency variant. There was actually an emergency variance yesterday that was granted for ERA and so that so the record should reflect that. And our next hearing will be April 12th this year.
Right after Easter.
Yeah, right. So thanks everyone for
Thank you.
participating, and we'll see you in April, and I'll try to ditch the mask stuff. So, thank
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
uh-huh.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Dig out of the snow.
Yeah.